To this day, 859 beings have been to space. That includes 832 humans and 27 animals.
But not all of them came back.
Among those 8 beings, Laika, the first living creature to orbit the Earth, was one of them.
In 1957, the world was in the middle of the Cold War. The Cold War was a tense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, and while both nations were racing to prove their power and technology, space became their ultimate battleground. Just a month earlier, the Soviet Union had stunned the world by launching Sputnik 1, the first satellite to orbit Earth. But they weren't done yet. They wanted to show that they could break existing barriers and push even further by sending the first living creature into space. Around the same time, on the busy streets of Moscow, a small stray dog named Laika roamed, just trying to survive like many other strays in the city. She was just an ordinary dog, and she had no idea that her life would soon take an extraordinary turn. Laika, with her gentle eyes and calm nature, caught the attention of scientists who were in search for a suitable candidate for this mission. Little did anyone know that this dog from the cold streets of Moscow was about to become the first living creature to orbit the Earth, marking her place in history forever. With the space race intensifying, Soviet scientists knew they needed a resilient and calm dog to withstand the harsh conditions of space. Laika, along with a few other strays, were brought into a rigorous selection process. These dogs were chosen because they were small, tough, and had already survived the harsh street life, which made them ideal candidates for the mission. So before we proceed any further, stop right there and hit that subscribe button with the bell icon of course, because a lot more awesome videos like these are coming up and you definitely don't want to miss them. So what are you waiting for? Go subscribe and enjoy the rest of the video, cause the story is gonna get way more intense from here. Anyways, the mission to send Laika into space was not just about proving that the Soviet Union could get a living being into orbit. It had a much deeper objective. One that would directly shape the future of human space travel. Soviet scientists wanted to gather crucial data on how a living organism would respond to the conditions of space. How would the body react to zero gravity? How would it react to intense radiation and the stresses of space travel? Laika's journey was seen as the key to answering all these questions, paving the way for human astronauts. But Sputnik 2, the rocket that Laika was supposed to go in, was far from perfect. Spacecraft was hastily designed after the success of Sputnik 1, and while it included life support systems for Laika, such as oxygen, food, and a system to collect waste, one thing was missing: a way to bring her back. On November 3, 1957, the world watched as Sputnik 2 lifted off, carrying Laika into space. The launch was flawless. Laika reached space, and for the first few hours, it showed that she was alive, breathing, and experiencing weightlessness in zero gravity. It was a monumental achievement. We had done it. We had sent the first living being ever to orbit Earth. Soviet scientists celebrated, civilians around the world marveled, and overall, it was a huge win for humanity. But then, something went wrong. The temperature inside Sputnik 2 began to rise. As the spacecraft hurtled around the Earth at over 20,000 kilometers per hour, the cooling systems that were meant to protect Laika from the extreme heat of the sun malfunctioned. The temperature inside the cabin soared to over 40 degrees Celsius. Soviet scientists started receiving data that Laika was alive for a few hours, but then silence. The rising heat had overwhelmed the cooling systems, and tragically, Laika succumbed to the extreme conditions far sooner than anyone had anticipated. The world wouldn't know this for decades, but at the time, the Soviet Union reported that she had died peacefully after several days in orbit. But now we know that the truth was far more heartbreaking. Laika is a story of our both our greatest achievements and our deepest ethical failures. Her sacrifice paved the way for human space exploration, and because of her, we learned how to send humans safely into space and eventually we reached the moon. But at what cost?